So if we are looking at evolution in terms of our definition, where evolution is the change in allele frequency within a population from one generation to the next, we have to ask ourselves what kinds of things are responsible for that change. Right? What things make evolution happen? And so we have 5 driving forces of evolution. These are the conditions under which populations will evolve. These are the reasons that evolution occurs. The primary one that we think about is natural selection, what we typically think of as survival of the fittest type of scenario, right? Where organisms become better adapted to their environment. Very similar to natural selection, there is also sexual selection, whereas the pressure in natural selection has to do with environmental factors. The pressures in sexual selection have to do with reproductive pressures. Right? And so something about an organism makes it more likely to have babies beyond simple survival. Right? So those are the 2 types of selection that drive evolution. Then there's also gene flow, and gene flow is a fancy evolution term for migration with some mating thrown in. And so when organisms move around from one area to another and they meet other populations of the same organism, right, and they mate, they exchange genes, and that's gene flow. Genetic drift is pretty much the weirdest or most convoluted of the forces. Genetic drift is basically a catch-all term for anything random that changes the allele frequency of the population. Right? So these are random events that are shifting the allele frequency.
Please excuse the interruption. I just want to repeat the message that came out earlier that MCAS makeup is complete at this point. So all staff can use time for any professional responsibility you have, senior teaching and grading. Feel free to use that time.
This is my professional responsibility for the moment. I'm making lecture videos, so I'm right on task. Okay? So again, genetic drift is just random stuff that happens that changes allele frequencies. And the last one, and one of them, well, they're all important, but this one's a foundational, fundamental aspect of evolution, just like natural selection is, and that is mutation. Right? So random changes in the genome of the population is extremely important for evolution, and also changes our allele frequency. Right? And so all of these things will change the allele frequency and make it so that the offspring's allele frequency is different than the parent's allele frequency. Driving forces of evolution. Bye.